Changes during the 1920s. The 1920s were full of many changes in regards to American education. World War I's outcomes had many effects on this decade. This time period following the war is known as the baby boom. This generation led to an increase in the number of students attending schools and began to cause a higher need for teachers. At the same time, a huge population of immigrants had settled into the United States. The need to educate those new Americans in language, literacy, customs, and citizenship sparked a nationally organized movement to establish even classes in many schools. Along with the increase in student population in schools began to realize the importance for longer school years. This led to an increase of school days from the average school year of 82 days to 173. Can we please change it back? Teachers were also benefiting greatly during this time. They saw a raise in salaries, a jump from 871 at the beginning of the decade to 1,420 by the end of the decade. Not much if you ask me. Curriculum began to divert from just the basics, reading, writing, and arithmetic, and began to provide classes that would build well-rounded students. New classes such as sciences, physical education, home economics, geography, and industrial arts were now being given importance and were becoming available in schools. Higher learning also extended to the playing fields, where football, baseball, swimming, and golf became popular team sports. Girls were given classes that focused on them being able to keep up a household, cooking, cleaning, and sewing. This was one way that the 1920s educational system believed that they were making a well-rounded female student, by educating her in areas that were seen as being the most beneficial for her future. Schools started to identify students as slow, average, and rapid learners. Individual learners were being recognized instead of classes being taught as a whole. Educators also started realizing the importance of bringing schools into their homes. For some students, it is important to have their education be supported at home so that they can thrive more. John Dewey was an important influence on progressive education. He was a person that got others to start thinking about diversity in regards to learning styles. He stressed the importance to look at the individual student and that not all students learn the same way, by starting to get teachers away from, at the time, typical ways of teaching. Another important philosophy that Dewey recognized was the focus of child developmental stages, as being used as markers for how students learn and where these students are at mentally. John Scopes was another important figure within the education system during the 1920s. One of the most fiery debates of the decade centered on instruction of the theory of evolution in schools. He was known for the Scopes trial in Tennessee. This trial was a response to the newly formed Tennessee state law, also known as the Butler's Act, which banned the teaching of evolution since it went against the Bible. Scopes ultimately agreed to be part of this trial and taught evolution in his class. This was thought of as the trial of the century by Tennessee community. When Scopes was brought to court, he was found guilty and charged a $100 fine. This Tennessee law remained for another 42 years. These changes have brought difference to the education system even today and have succeeded in bringing a better future.
So you new students this year?
Yeah,
crazy, right?
Crazy.
Yeah,
Like,
and all the new classes.
Yeah, it's double last year. You know they added new classes.
Yeah, I'm doing cooking right now.
Doing cooking? I'm doing a workshop.
I'm trying out for football.
Oh, yeah, it's really cool.
Yeah.
That's really cool, dude. It's crazy. Did
There's
you
so
know
much
the
new
days?
stuff.
Yeah, the days, it doubled. It went from 172 to like 150 something. I
Yeah,
don't know.
like colleges,
Hey, guys.
like
173.
colleges
Nice,
right
right?
now.
Yeah, I
Okay,
gotta go to
bye.
class.
Yeah. Sorry.
College?
I mean, I know it's an option now, but I don't really
Hello,
think
class.
I mean, like,
Please
it's better
quiet
for
down,
job opportunities
everybody.
and stuff if you go.
I'm your new teacher. We have some new students this year from all around the world. And in this class, we're going to be learning about how to become an American citizen. We're going to be learning about U.S. history, government, and writing and reading in English.